So today we'll be seeing how to explore an alternative tuning, which is the open C tuning, through some emotional chords that we can play in this tuning. So first of all, let's try to understand why we call this tuning open tuning. We call it open tuning because when you play the open strings, you make the sound of an open chord. In this case, it's the same as an open C chord, okay? So why is it so interesting and deep in the sound? First of all, because we move the tuning, the standard tuning that you all know, a little bit lower. So this creates lower sounds and also less tension. The strings are a little bit looser and therefore we have a little bit of more vibration coming from the strings. So if we go through the tuning from the top to the bottom, so from the 6th string to the first one, the 6th string is tuned down to C, the 5th string is tuned down to G, the 4th is tuned down to C again, the 3rd is tuned down to E, the 2nd is tuned down to G, and the 1st one is tuned down to C. So we do have 3 Cs on the 6th, 4th and 1st strings, all right? Now, when we play this, obviously all of the notes belong to the chord of C major, so we can also remember this in terms of numbers, in terms of degrees of the notes in the key of C major. So we can think as 1-5-1, thinking of root note, 5th root note, and then 3-5-1, thinking basically of a first inversion of a triad, which is 3rd, 5th, and root note again, okay? Now, this is important because once you have this in mind, you can apply this to any other open tuning. So if you guys want to mess around with the open D tuning or the open E tunings, which are really nice tunings as well, you can just tune 1-5-1, 3-5-1 in that specific key, starting from D or starting from E to get basically any other open tuning. Okay, so let's go through patterns and shapes that I was playing earlier in the close-up. Let's get started saying that we'll be mainly able to play chords that belong to the harmonization of the C major scale. This is because the tuning is in open C, so therefore all of the chords that we can get are in the key of C major. So make sure that you are familiar with the 7 chords in triads that you get from the C major scale. So C major on the 1st degree, then D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished. We'll be starting with the C major played in open strings, so playing all of the open strings, and then for the major chords you will play a shape using 2 fingers on the same fret of the 6th and 3rd string. So for example, on the 5th fret you get a F major, on the 7th fret you get a G major. For the minor chord you will get a shape which includes the 2nd finger and then the 1st finger 1 fret back, still on the 6th and 3rd string. So for example, if we want to play a D minor, you'll be playing the 2nd fret on the 6th and the 1st on the 3rd. Then you move to E minor, playing the 4th on the 6th and the 3rd fret on the G, on the X G string obviously, so on the 3rd string. Then we'll be moving to A minor, playing the 9th fret on the 6th string and the 8th fret on the 3rd string. Then we can still play the C major that we played at the beginning in open strings using the 12th and 12th fret on the 6th and 3rd string. This is just the octave of this. And then just as a passing chord, rather than using the B diminished, I would play this, which is basically a G over B. So we are basically playing the first inversion of the 5th degree. So we are playing the 11th fret on the 6th string and the 10th fret on the 3rd. But just make sure when you arpeggiate this chord that you play only the 6th, 3rd and 2nd string. So this is all what you can do on the left hand. Now, 2 considerations. First of all, you could play the same chords using also another finger on the 5th string. So for example, rather than playing the F major only with these 2, you could play basically the same fret on the 6th, 5th and 3rd string, getting this voicing. The same here on all of the other chords, okay? The same if you play a minor one. So always adding this finger here, which happens to be nothing else than the 5th of the chord. The reason why I was making this a little bit simpler is obviously to keep things simple, but also because in my arpeggios I rarely play the 5th string. So it doesn't really matter whether you use this extra finger or you don't. Now, the second consideration is that what we are learning can be played in any open tuning, like we were saying before. So rather than learning the chords because of the name of the root note, like D minor, E minor, F, G, and so on, learn them in terms of numbers with a numeral system. So basically you can learn first degree, second degree, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. We skip the seventh, we only use it as an inversion of the fifth, and then first degree, 1 octave higher. So in this case, we are playing in C major, but as I said, you could play exactly the same shapes, even if you were playing in open D tuning or in open E tuning, for example. So this is a huge thing because you learn the shapes once in one open tuning, and then you can apply the same shapes to other open tunings. Now, having these two fingers is really important for our left hand because we basically get the root note and the minor or major third, depending whether we are on a minor chord or on a major chord, so whether we are on the same fret or on two different frets. But we can also say that any other string you are going to play will always sound good with all of these chords. That's the reason why we can play arpeggios, getting any open string you like, or also strumming it. It sounds nice. Obviously it doesn't sound like the open chords that you're used to in standard tuning. They will sound with extensions, but all of the extensions will belong to the right key. Now, in the example that I was playing before, I was basically starting from an F major, playing this 6/8 feel 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So basically 1, 6, 8 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same on the G major, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 bars on the A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I was playing this 4 times. So I was playing something like. I was starting really low with the dynamic and then creating a crescendo, alternating my arpeggios with strums with the index, until we get full strums, okay, so that we get the sound of the whole chord with the extensions. Now, in terms of pattern on the right hand, what I was playing was a 6/8 feel on the bass, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically alternating the thumb and the index, doing something like. So 2 strings together with thumb and index, then thumb only, index only, thumb only, repeat. Okay, now obviously the thumb stays on the root note, but the index moves in between the third, the fourth, or the second string, sometimes even the first string if you like it, and if you need it, you can help yourself using the middle finger, maybe on the first string, okay, maybe doing. Okay, the same pattern, just replacing one index note with the middle finger. And then depending on which is the first note that you go and play with the index, you get a different feeling on the same chord. So I can stay on the fourth string and get something like. Okay, or I can play something where the top note at the beginning happens to be on the third string and it's more like. Okay, and as I said, I play this 4 times, creating a crescendo in the dynamics. So starting low. Increasing a little bit. Mixing with the strumming, which I do with the index only, you see. And then opening up to the second part, which starts with the C1 octave higher, which I play pretty much in the same way. But towards the end, I move into the G over B that we were talking about earlier, playing only the 6th, 3rd and 2nd string. as a passing chord to get me back to my A minor, so I can play. And I really like that this is a very emotional going down basically with the bass. Once you are back on your A minor, you play it, you move to G, and you move to F. So descending A minor G F, where you stay like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's up to you if you want to stay longer on the last chord the second time. Then from here I keep my descending movement on the bass. I go to E minor, 4th and 3rd fret. I play this. Then whenever I want to move to D minor, I just take these two strings and I slide the fingers back by 2 frets to play D minor, 2nd and 1st finger, getting this, okay, and then back to C, 1st degree, only open strings. Then at some point I use my 1st finger here on the 3rd string, getting a C sus4, so, and back. Couple of times, and when you want to finish you can just play all of your open strings in C. So let's go through the chords once more. Feel free to experiment with different strings in your arpeggio. Every time different strings. This creates variety. If you want to stay longer here, then E minor, C, sus, Alright, so as usual I encourage you to explore any other chord position you can find in open C tuning and create your own progression, your own noodling exercise, and in general explore the sounds that you get from this amazing tuning. Let me know in the comments below what feelings these chords move in you. And if you want to support this channel, you can like the video and share it with your family and friends to help me reaching out more people. And obviously if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified when I release my new videos and you don't miss any other video like this one. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Feel free to get in touch. This was The Bearded Guitarist. I'll be seeing you next week.